Hey, welcome back to Quick Looks, the Casual Hour. My name is Bobby Pease. Joining me, the gamer on the go, Chase Kinnicky, for a very exciting quick look of the recently released Boyfriend Dungeon from Kitfox Games. Chase, I am so pumped to show you this game.
Bobby, you should press any key.
Any key, you say?
Press a key. Any key.
Whoa! How about that?
That's some key that you press.
Yeah, let me just make sure I got the controller set up here. Assign controller.
Okay, well, you're doing that. Like this was a game that we mentioned on our August preview. We do a podcast every Wednesday, and at the end of one month or the beginning of the next month, it kind of fluctuates based on the
totally
the calendar. But we do a preview of the upcoming month of video games. And this is one that I feel like we all kind of gave a little chuckle at, like, oh, that's fun. You're doing like a dungeon thing and a dating sim. That's weird. That's a weird combination of things. That's silly.
Yep.
And then this game's on Game Pass, correct?
Yeah, it launched on Game Pass, so it's on a few things actually. It's on Steam, it's on Nintendo Switch, it's on itch.io, it's on Xbox Game Pass and the Epic Game Store. So you can play this for.
Okay. But you picked up the Game Pass version because it's essentially free to you. It's included within your service.
Yep.
And you have been saying nothing but great things about this game to me since, and I'm surprised and intrigued. And I want to know more about Boyfriend Dungeon. What can you tell me about this game?
Yeah, so this is a dating simulator, dungeon crawler, or a dunj as they call it. You're managing relationships in the game, and also going and dating weapons, which is a really strange thing. Not everybody, but certain people that you come across.
I mean, I've watched an anime, Bobby. It's not that strange.
Oh well, I mean, look, I think that this is new. I'm in some uncharted territory for little old Bobby here from the Casual Hour. But before we hop into it, to show you some more stuff, if you want to stay up with these quick looks or other content that we're putting out, like and subscribe here on YouTube. We'd really appreciate it. And with that, we're going to hop in here and show you a little bit about Boyfriend Dungeon.
So Bobby, you said dungeon crawler. Is this like a roguelike? What is this, like a Hades thing? What are we actually doing here?
That's great point. So you're going to be managing social relationships. The whole thing is about building out these relationships, which are in the form of weapons. And when you have a weapon, you can put more time in with that weapon by taking it on runs with you, or you can go out and grab coffee or go on a date with the weapon, and that's human form. And when you do that, it starts to unlock new things that you can do, and you can change that stuff out at the gym. But each weapon progresses further based off of the time spent with it and the things that you do, and you can really get some cool stuff. So like, I've been using Valeria, this dagger, quite a bit, and I think it's pretty neat that I have the options to choose two things every time I level up my relationship with it, and that's really cool to me. Chase, I do just want to.
So
go ahead.
Is this kind of like, does this have like some Persona DNA in there, where it's like, here's, you grind up the social links and then you also get bonuses in the battle?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
So it's got a lot of Persona in that sense. I do want to just put a few things out there before we hop into it. There are some heavy things in this game when it comes to relationships, and I think that Kitfox has done a nice job of addressing that. There are a few things that they have missed recently that they're going to be putting further content warnings out for. You can follow their Twitter for more updates on what's happening there. They're acting very responsible, and I think that they're going to make some changes, but at the time of recording this, which is the 14th of August, we just want to make sure that you all know that if you're looking to check this game out, it is going to dabble into some things. But one thing I will call out and celebrate that they do, when you start the game,
and we're not gonna see any of that heavy stuff in this quick look,
I don't hope so, because I think that's okay. Like, I want to keep that story stuff. And this is a very personal playthrough for me. I am a happily married, I guess we would call it like a cis straight male. Identify as a man, married to a woman who identifies as a woman. But playing this game, I think, is really cool to get perspectives and ideas, and they showcase a lot of that in it. And so we'll be seeing some of that stuff, maybe a little bit in a dungeon, but I'm not going to try and explore those relationships because I think that you should do that on your own when you play a game like this. But one of the things here with messages, there is a thing that you can do to turn off messages from your mom. And it might sound mean and cruel, but if you've got a tough, traumatic past with that, that's something that you can completely turn off in the game right from the get-go, and it does not impact anything with it. So let's talk about our apartment, because this is where we're going to be going from, and then I'll give you the overworld, and we'll hop into a dungeon and show you a little bit about what that looks like. The phone is that social link. You can keep track of any gifts that you have to give in conversation. I showed you a little bit about what each weapon rank is and the combos that come with it and where you're currently at on upgrading it. Backing this up to your inventory. A lot of it's going to be things that you can wear. There's Zines that you can use for more of like a magic attack, and we'll get into that in a second.
It's zine.
Sorry,
like
zine. Magazine. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
But down there with the materials, you'll be getting those in the dungeons, or you can go to shops and buy them, and that will unlock new outfits, and I think maybe even some other weapon stuff.
These are outfits for you? Okay, yeah. There's your
yeah.
array.
So this is what you look like in the dungeon in the overworld. You can change quite a few things here with your pronouns, and they do say again that this does not change who can date you based off of how you identify with pronouns.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that will, like, when you start the game out, like, there's a lot of interactions with men that are coming on to you and wanting to help you out, but they do a pretty good job of saying that, like, hey, you can play this, platonically, or if you wanted to explore things, you can do that as well. Different outfits you can choose from. I haven't seen anything besides just the overall look. There was somebody in the game that says, hey, we're going on a date, you should wear something red. There's like, I'm just kidding, but I went ahead and wore this red sweater. And then you have different hats that do not have any further abilities, but I think it's just more cosmetic. So that's the mirror. This is the crafting table where you can see what materials you would need to go in and change that.
And these are crafting what, like health items or?
Well, this is going to be a robe. A lot of it was going to be gifts, so you can see that on the left there. So that's a zine. Over here is a gift, and then this is going to be clothing. And there's the breakdowns at the top here. So that's your crafting table, and this is where you keep all your zines. So I've got this one you start out with. It throws a fireball. This one throws like a beaker bottle that you can set a trap with. That's activated by proximity. That's pretty nice.
Okay.
So let's head out here and show you a bit of the town and what you can expect. I really like the music, and I like this overview quite a bit. It feels good moving through it. This is the gym, as I mentioned, and you can come in here and change out what you have. So every time you have an upgrade, not every time, but every other time so far, you can choose and you can swap these out. So if I wanted to be sneaky where enemies are confused longer, I just select that and go into it. So if I needed to change something for a run, I can do that.
And Valeria is the dagger.
Valeria is the dagger, yes.
Okay.
And they do, like, look, that was kind of a weird thing when we talked about it on our previews. Like, yeah, you date weapons. I'm like, wait, what? But the way that they do it actually kind of works. And, like, when you go to pick up this dagger, there's a whole talk about consent and what that looks like.
Okay.
So pretty cool stuff there. But you can change out some of the abilities based off of what your playstyle is. And there's your home apartment. Got a couple shops. The only dungeons...
And the game's called Boyfriend Dungeon, but do you have, weapons of different genders or non-genders that you can...
Yeah, so right now Valeria is who I've been pursuing in the game, but Isaac is the first person that you are met with in the game, and then Sunder you meet at that same time. I did just come across, so there was somebody in the game that was an axe that I thought, hey, you could be friends with, and that was cool, but when I had said nah on dating, they're like, okay, I'm just going to be gone for the summer, and so they're not in the game any longer. So I don't know if they'll come back at some point in time, but they're not here. Okay. And then back here at the mansion, I did meet what I believe to be a non-binary person. They have been a little bit dismissive of me. There's something weird going on there, but I don't know much about that. I think there'll be a weapon I can get. What's the thing a Grim Reaper carries?
A scythe.
That's what they are. They're a scythe.
Okay.
Naked Steel. I don't like Naked Steel. I don't like the person inside Naked Steel. I think that this is one of the problematic people in the games.
Okay.
And they do a pretty good job of making you feel that way up front because they're a weapon purist. They believe in real steel, not people being weapons. And so they're
okay.
They're a bit of a douchebag.
So that's a shop. Like, what are you buying there?
Yeah, I mean, I can pop in here. So this is Eric.
I don't like Eric.
I don't like Eric at all. I can't stand this asshole.
So you're just buying materials from him?
Yeah, but this one also lets you use money, and money is what you get in the dungeons. Or I could trade 3 of the plastic for 1 of the steel. And so so you can use other materials if you want to do that. And I haven't gotten into some of the more long form, or not long form, but the more advanced crafting. Got another shop down here. I think this is the clothing shop. Works really nice. You can get some more materials here, but then some outfits also.
Clark doesn't get a full name.
Nope. Clark's pretty generic. You do...
Unless her name's Clark. Her name could be Clark.
Yeah, it could be Clark. Paradise Lost. I went on a date here that did not go well. And that's the whole thing. Like, you moved in here with your cousin. You're trying to get yourself out there. Your cousin's trying to set you up on dates, introducing you to weapons. And there's some awkwardness in it. Like, you're just really missing on some of these dates.
So it's just a regular thing that people date weapons in this universe?
Yeah, like one of the things, like when you're interacting with people, is like, oh, are you a weapon? It's like, that's kind of like an icebreaker. And it's like, no, I'm not a weapon. Are you a weapon? And then it's like, well, I've dated a weapon.
That sounds like a personal question to me.
Right. I haven't done anything here. This is, I think, things that you can use on dates. Just pretty late game. I shouldn't say late game, but a little bit more expensive. So let me show you what this looks like in action, because I think that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
So I love that the mall is the dungeon, and
well, you work at a mall, so I imagine.
I do. Yeah.
You go to combat every day.
Correct. And as we're getting into the mall, not too different from Persona, you're trying to uncover what your fears are, and so the enemies or the monsters that you're up against are a deeper connection to something that you're afraid of, and you're trying to uncover that when you're in here. So I'll let you pick what we do here. As you get to certain points in the dungeon, it gives you, we can start where we were, or I can start easy and then come out and whatever. So when we die in the dungeon, you go back to your apartment, you keep your XP, but this is more of a run. So it's not like
well, yeah, it's kind of a run, but it actually really is giving me Persona vibes. You'd get in those, you've played 5, you played a little bit of 4, right?
A little bit 4. Yeah.
Okay, so I think 4 is a little bit closer, but 5 is similar as well, where you get some checkpoints in the dungeons or in the palaces, and then you can go to those. But it's a process of, hey, we're going to take out this dungeon piece by piece, and then we're going to come back. But there's no calendar day in this, is there? No,
it'll say like, hey, tomorrow you got a date, but nothing like that.
Okay. Well, cool. Yeah. Why don't we jump in on one, because I haven't seen anything, and I just kind of want to see what's going on here.
Yeah. So when you hop into the dungeon here, you'll be asked to pick one of your weapons.
It's nice that it's not so crowded.
Well, it started me off with my last one, but when you progress down, it always gives you the chance to choose, and I'll show why. Let me give you a quick breakdown on combat and what you can expect. So there is a roll, and you have a quick attack, and then you have a long attack. Up there at the top left corner, you can see my current wielder level, which is a 9. And then on the left is my health. You have 3 of those. You do find more of them, but as you start to exhaust your health, it'll pop up a thing above our head and say like, hey, you need to heal. And then RB, I'm playing this with the controller right now on PC. RB is going to be the zines that you can throw out.
Okay.
You can change, so it starts you off. It's a little silly thing, but there's 4 different drinks that you can choose to be represented up there. You start out with a boba tea. I went with iced coffee.
Okay.
So you have a map that can overlay. It's a pretty nice little map for being a dungeony type deal.
I'm
And
getting kind of like some transistor vibes in just the isometric, the way that not everything is shown.
you'll get some commentary from your weapon when you're battling, and then there'll be parts of the mall that you can take a break and build that social link up to, like playing a game or giving a gift. That's all there. But I like, it handles really well for.
Yeah, it looks pretty fast.
It is. It's really fast. Things can start to get a little bit dicey. I'll throw that out. That was one of the zines there.
Are all the enemies, electronics?
Yep. So phones and TVs have been the problems here for us. Another day, another victory. Very cool. And then you can see where the escalator is, and that will take you down.
So are you balancing? Are you trying to like date around and trying to?
Well,
keep...
that's the thing. This is the thing that has been kind of interesting for me for this game, and I'm gonna let this screen go for a second because it's not gonna fuck anything up. I was not uncomfortable at all by playing a game called Boyfriend Dungeon. If there would have been no women in this game, which I am attracted to, for me to pursue, I would have had a great time building these relationships and experiencing the game. And I really, it made me think a lot about when I played Celeste and what it did with like mental illness, and like that was a genre of game that I just didn't really care for. But when you combined it with you're climbing this mountain in the game because of things that are difficult, and I thought about that on the way I approached the game, it helped me. And here, the game does really want you to like go on dates and date around because you get other weapons. And so if you want those weapons to be better, because they're going to do different things in combat, you're going to have to get to know the people. And it made me think a little bit about...
that's a very common thing in dating sims. Like I think about like the classic one, Tokimeki Memorial, and it's more about just hanging out with people and less going on dates. Or, I mean, they call them dates, but I think it's easier for somebody like me to process when it's like, well, I'm just hanging out with this person. I'm giving them a gift on their birthday, or I'm walking them home. But it's, you can't view it as like, oh, I'm going steady with this one,
right?
And that means I have to be exclusive. So that's just kind of the name of the game when it comes to dating sims. And so I guess I can understand that here. I was wondering more though if you have to like balance things or juggle things to be able to keep all these weapons interested in you, or if it's okay if you just say, hey, I just want to play with Valeria here, and I'm just going to keep using the dagger every single time, or maybe that gets tired. Maybe she's like, hey, let's not see each other at the moment, go date somebody else.
So the game does that's a great question. The game does a pretty good job of it. So you can see that Valeria is at rank 4 with me, and if I get to 200 as I'm progressing through the dungeon, like that doesn't go further with her. So then I can switch out and pull out another weapon and max that out. And when I unlock more of that, so if I went over here and change the weapon, and like I'm 1 here with Isaac, so if I put more time in, obviously it's going to be easier. That's going to open up more things, outside of the dungeon for me to explore with Isaac and check that out also.
But is Valeria going to get jealous of you if you are starting to use Isaac instead of her?
Valeria just did the thing, like, not to keep calling back to Persona, but that's what I know, where she's like, hey, I'm going to tell you a really big secret about me. And she's like, not a lot of people know that. And I take that as like, hey, we're a pretty serious friendship, relationship. Like, it certainly seems romantic, but I don't know, like, if that's going to be a point in the game where it's like, okay, like you're just gonna have to maintain things, or you need to be building this stuff up. Like, I just don't know. Like,
So with the levels, it looks like just the way this leveling system appears, it seems like you're just always making progress. I wonder. You did mention like there's a way that you could piss off that axe, and then he's like, okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But I guess my question, and you can keep going in the game. But like I'm wondering if like you can have consequences, or if this is just like a progress thing that I'm just making progress similar to Persona. I'm getting the social links up on Yukiko, but that doesn't mean I can't talk to Chie anymore. It's just, I have to spend time with Chie another time.
Yeah, and there's, like, it was a really interesting thing, because there's an event in the game where it's like, okay, you get to pick somebody to bring to it. Or you can just focus on meeting the new person that's there. And I was like, well, I'm going to bring somebody with me. And then the other person shows up still, and then it becomes this weird, like, well, I'm kind of in this, like, 3-way date right now.
Yeah.
And that's what triggered the events of, like, I'm going to go away for the summer. But, yeah, I'm not quite sure.
There are some consequences to your actions, but maybe, like, once you start dating a weapon, you don't stop dating it.
Yeah. So this is one of the spots in the mall that you can stop by and work on that social relationship. There's also some nice voice acting in the game. I want to call that out because they do a nice job. Everybody who's contributed to it.
Oh yeah, it's a real great
Well,
I believe you. I believe you. Just a bad example.
I fall down a lot. Hope you're ready. Hang on to me. Oh.
I mean, she is a knife. That's basically an ice skate right there.
Yeah. You're off the skates. You feel an impulse to give a gift, but I don't have anything to give.
Thanks.
And then you're back into it.
Okay.
There's blue boxes and red boxes in the dungeon. The blue boxes gives you materials, red gives you health, but you can't break.
Sorry, is that the extent of the dates, or do you?
No.
Okay.
Like the dating is very light while you're in the dungeon.
Okay, so these are just like little moments, but then you can go on. Are you making dialogue choices and things like that during dates?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. There's also safes on levels of the mall here. They're going to give you usually a blueprint that you can use back at your bench, and some of these are gold and some of these are silver. So we're going to keep progressing through this, and I can die whenever. And
yeah, you said there's no consequences to dying. You just get kicked back.
Yep, it'll show you at the end of that, like, hey, here's what you did, and here's what you killed. And the next time you go to do a run, it'll give you the option of, maybe you start with not exactly where you were, but close enough to it. And it does get a little bit dicier as you start to get down further in this mall. So I'll keep going here, and maybe we can level her up. That will open up something else for me in the game. But no, like, this is the first time I've played like a straight up like dating sim, I think. But it's also not.
I would not call this a straight up dating sim.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess it's not, but like, I don't know. Like, it sometimes.
Yeah. This is not your. This is a little outside your comfort zone, even though it's kind of wrapped in a game that you're familiar with.
Ooh.
Sounds fun.
All right. It's down here. I haven't done this before. Monster shop. Whoa. This is cool.
Ah.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so you can buy some gifts or some stuff for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Neat. I'll buy this olive.
You didn't want to buy that very expensive lipstick.
I mean, I got just enough. Should we do it?
Hey, it's your game, man. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Okay, I'll come back to that. Anybody else we can talk to down here?
It's Darth Maul, motherfucker.
Yeah, no kidding. I like this person a lot. Or this monster. Oh, he's pissed that we're down here. This is cool. I didn't know that this was a thing. And that takes us down to the next level. Neat.
What's the deepest level you've gotten to?
I think 7 or 8. And you'll start to see yellow health bar enemies at that point in time. And there are some boss battles, or at least mid-bosses that I've had to fight. And a lot more things being thrown your way that you have to balance. It gets, I don't call it quite like a bullet storm, but there is a lot of projectiles that'll start coming your way, and most of these you can hit, and both will go away from that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like you're more or less running through this stuff, but these are early levels for where you are in the game, right?
Yeah, I'm also level 9, so that's gonna show off some stuff here. We can do another quick little day date if you want to.
Sure.
Okay. Not really a date, but I guess like an attraction. We're gonna do some of these massage chairs.
Hell yeah.
No gifts. She got that lipstick.
Shit on that lipstick.
Yeah, monsters use these chairs. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. It looks like there's a safe back here. I'll grab that really quick. And that gives us something for our... Oh, teddy bear recipe. Sounds like a new gift. Awesome. This is one thing that you'll find in the dunj, or the dungeon, whatever you want to call it. This little challenge. So usually like 1 or 2 waves. Oh, that one was only 1. That gives you a bonus at the end whenever you tally up everything. And it unlocks the door that leads to a safe.
I mean, so it doesn't seem like this game is going to replace a Hades for you, but it is...
No.
It does have a different kind of hook with the dating aspects that makes it interesting and probably...
Yeah, it's neat to have this like weapon that is somebody that you're dating with down here. Like they're like, hey, I'm trying to protect you, or I'm tired, and oh, look out, like deep breaths. See, like little things like that. I think that's pretty cool. Like when you think of companions in games, like this is a really... I've never done anything like this. I've been playing video games for decades, man, and I've not had anything quite like what this game's doing.
Well, I mean, you've played like Fallout games or something where you've had companions, and
Well,
I mean, you played Persona where you can...
I've never dated a fucking weapon. How about that?
Fair. But, you know, despite me during our preview mentioning something like Xenoblade Chronicles, where you absolutely do just have weapons that turn into anime ladies, it's not a concept that gets used a lot.
Right. No, you're absolutely right, though. There are some things that we've already referenced, and I don't think it hides its references all the time, but this should get us over the edge here to that 200. Chase, why don't you pick the flavor here?
Okay, let me 4D chess this one. Vanilla's too boring. She's not gonna take to that. The fudge might be a little too much. I maybe put it on a little heavy. I think the gelato says like we're interesting, but we're trying to be a little healthier in our options. Okay. But we like a little fun. We like a little flavor.
Ooh, feeling fancy. Tastes like summer.
Got a wink.
Summer here in Verona Beach is a bit too much. If you're outside, this will probably melt. You know what? I don't like the hot weather either. Finish your ice cream, debating the best place to spend summer. You feel an impulse to give her a gift, but you don't have any.
If only you had some blue lipstick.
Yeah, and I mean, we've had, 3 chances now to give a gift, so if you really wanted to maximize a social link, pretty good chance to. Let me get to the next... There seems to be a pretty big boss over here, and I'll let that kill us. We can head back.
Yeah,
it is a phone. Alright, so when you go down, you'll see that you did... Alright, we maxed out, which is what I wanted to do. It's a fun screen, by the way.
So she's maxed out for the next step of the relationship. Like, now you can do a date? Is that what we're seeing?
It'll usually trigger something like that, for sure.
Okay, so it's not like, hey, you've reached the max relationship with her that you can be right now, so you have to go to somebody else. It's just... hey, you've reached the place where you need to do the event before you can...
Yeah, and you can go and grind out the dungeons, like, over and over again. So if you wanted to that's how you're going to move stories forward with other people in the game.
Got it, okay.
So we did go up to wielder level 11. We're an apprentice. We got two more on our HP, and now it's telling us to go home. We did find some new hangouts. We found the ice rink, we found the massage chairs, and the ice cream shop. And it breaks it down based off secrets found, floors completed, and the bonus, the time spent together.
That's cool. This is a nice screen. I like that.
Yeah. Get the ambulance back to your apartment. So this is a spoiler. I don't know. I've been trying to solve it over the last few days. This was slid under our door, and we don't know what it is. Is it a phone number? Was it an IP address? Do you want to help me maybe solve what this might be?
Sure. So let's see. We got some numbers, and we got some upside down numbers.
Yep.
I think 2's the obvious one you start with, right?
Yep.
And then that 4 is upside down.
Do we skip the 4 and go?
Yeah, I could see that. Or is it because it's upside down, it looks like a 6, so you go with 6?
Okay. Then, well...
And then I wouldn't say any of those numbers are there. So maybe you were
7?
supposed to skip it. Okay. Sure.
I'll try 7. Solve your riddle. Nope.
That was a good try.
Do it. So each day you get a stab at that.
Okay.
All right. So right now, we don't have any messages. But I can show you, like, you want to see what some of these might look like?
Sure. Like, what's up with Jesse? Seems to love you, cuz.
Yeah, so Jesse is your cousin. That's who brought you in. They've been trying to help you out. They're more your mentor. This is like where you're getting the tutorial of the game at times. But you can see how responding, and it gives you some options to choose here. Okay. Not always, but sometimes you can choose that when you go in. Max this out. So there'll be a time probably to do something there. And then we did make a new gift. Let's make that really quick. We got a cool teddy bear gift. And was there anything else? I thought we got a shirt.
Anime t-shirt recipe.
There we go. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, look at how anime that is.
Let's try it on, shall we?
Sure.
Ooh.
That's just class right there.
So Chase, this is Boyfriend Dungeon. I think that especially if you're interested in checking it out, which I think you should, I don't want to spoil anything. Like, I think that this is a game about you having those intimate moments of exploring these relationships, checking things out, finding a weapon that you like. But I really like this game a whole lot. I've had such a good time playing it, and it's definitely surprised the hell out of me in a lot of ways. And I dig it. It's a simple enough game to fall into, and I think that the relationships are really cool when you see those. And yeah, it's a neat game for sure.
Cool.
So that's it here for us on this quick look. We do quite a few different things here at the Casual Hour. As we mentioned at the beginning, we do some other quick looks and other series here on YouTube, but we stream 3 nights a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays over at twitch.tv/thecasualhour. We might play a game like Boyfriend Dungeon on one of those nights. Wednesday nights, though, is when we record our podcast live with all of you. We then post that podcast to where podcasts can be found Fridays at 9 a.m. Central Time. And it's a pretty good time. We have a lot of fun over at the Casual Hour. And Chase, I had a lot of fun with you tonight checking out Boyfriend Dungeon from Kitfox.
Did you say how much this game is? I know you got the Game Pass version, but how much is it?
It's $20. I know it's on sale on Steam right now. I don't know if it's on sale on the eShop, and I don't know what its price is on itch, but I am playing this on Game Pass. And I'll plug it really quick. I've played this on my PC. I've played this on my iPad with xCloud, and I've played it on my iPhone with xCloud. And all of those have been very enjoyable.
Cool.
So yeah, that's been Boyfriend Dungeon with Bobby and Chase from the Casual Hour. Thanks for tuning in this quick look, and we'll be back with more stuff later on.